welcome to race 2 of round 3 of the Spec 7 Racing Series. I can't wait to get into this one. If you're new to the series, it is a reverse grid race, so we have all the winners from race 1 starting at the back of the pack, and we are away, lights out. Fantastic start from Crenshaw. Hippie Heat as well going down the outside. We've got people going everywhere. This is going to be very, very entertaining at this track as we go many wide here. Mojo around the outside of Nielsen by the looks of Staniel, unfortunately on the inside, has got it all wrong up against the wall. You hate to see it early on in the race, so it's going to try and be a big recovery for Staniel at this point. But as you can see, Crenshaw just trying to fight out for the lead. Jason's putting some pressure on. A little bit of contact, he's got very loose, and Crenshaw is well wide. And in fact, it looks like everyone's coming together. Revolver sideways, skidding up the wall. Not a fantastic start from those two. They're going to get relegated straight to the back of the pack. And as we flick a little bit further back here, we got Nick Magic out well wide. Kogan's going to try and benefit from that going up the inside, and he does pull it off. A little bit sideways there. Here comes this big swarming pack of bumblebees as they come through. It doesn't get any closer than this. It looks like we've lost someone else down the outside there. Willie, we'll go back for a replay there. It looked like he got well sideways. And again, he's actually gone all the way around 360, and look at that, he's barely lost any time at all, maybe a second or two. That's fantastic. I love seeing things like that. He's managed to do a complete pirouette, a 10 from the Russian judges, and he's continued to race as if it was absolutely nothing at all. So he's going to continue on there. He actually lost about 5 spots or something back to 10th. He's already up to 8th, so he is on the charge. And as you can see, this pack isn't getting any thinner through the midfield, with Kogan leading it from 6th position, myself in 7th. And as we said a little bit further up, it looked like Beepa was just starting to have a bit of a look on Mojo. But Willie recovering beautifully there. It actually looks like he's going to go up the inside of Ring Driver to look at 8th position. He's not going to have the spot. A little bit of contact, everyone bumping and rubbing. Nothing undue or bad driving or anything like that. Nothing untowards, but just good, hard, close racing. And there's Speedy Chicken, of course, the winner of race 1, who did come from last all the way to first. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched race 1. But nonetheless, he looks like he's stuck at the back of the pack just watching and probably just conserving a little bit of fuel. But he's certainly going to be up against it because his competition, who was Beepa, was well up the field already. So we'll see how this one turns out as the race goes on a little bit more. Willie there still fighting very hard. He's got the inside run on Ring Driver, who's going to have to go the long way around, and in fact he's not going to have the grids, the position there. Side by side we come through. They are, look at this pack, absolutely tight. And it does settle down a little bit. It looks like Speedy Chicken was just getting in contact with someone there. But Sim is out the front leading the race. Jason's in 2nd. They've got a little bit of a gap actually back to Nielsen in 3rd spot. And that looks like it's already Beepa might have been in 4th pushing that. So 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. You can see Speedy Chicken there has gone past Ring Driver as well to take 10th spot. It's always a good idea just to keep a close eye on Speedy and see how he goes, because he's done it too many times before, starting from the very back and working his way to the very front. He's definitely going to be up against it today though, so we'll see how this one goes. But it looks like he's going to make the move here on Skater. He had a very good run out of the previous turn, and he's managed to do that beautifully just under power. So Skater having another look back up the inside. Speedy's out well wide, and perhaps even just a little bit sideways, and Skater was able to take the position back. Speedy well out onto the grass there, trying to find some grip. There's not a lot out there in the green stuff. You want to make sure you're on this beautiful black top we've got there. And again, he's still fighting. Skater got wide. A little bit of contact with Speedy. Couldn't have been avoided, but it's pushed him back out wide towards the grass. So he loves it at the moment. Certainly getting duffed up. Probably not getting any favours from anybody else who knows exactly the sort of thing Speedy can do from the back of the grid. But I don't think they're interested in deliberately pushing. I think they're just scrapping it out. Ring Driver and Skater side by side as we come down to begin lap number 2. And Skater has just managed to take that position off Ring Driver. So here comes the move back up the inside as we cut back away. It looked like Ring Driver might have been able to do something there, but you can see Beepa here, who in race 1, for those who didn't watch it, did try a two-stop strategy, and that was Jason's out well wide there on the grass, actually going very slowly at this point. So he's hit the grass just trying to recover, but look at the time he's lost. He was up in 3rd position. Mojo swept around the outside for 5th. I have got well out wide. There's not a lot of grip out there, but yeah, even I'm going to be able to pinch that 6th spot off him, although the battle is going to continue as we are side by side heading over the hill, but I think I'm going to be able to comfortably grab that spot, and he has tucked in behind me as we ride on board with Willie, who did that amazing 360 early on lap 1, recovering beautifully and just getting on with business there. So this pack just dispersing a little bit, just starting to calm down a bit as the race gets near the end of lap 3. But certainly a close one. You can see as you look at the mini-map on the right-hand side there just how close this battle is, really from 3rd position all the way back to 11th. There's not a lot in it. You could throw a blanket over the whole field as Skater gets a much better drive off the final turn. He's well sideways. He's got it 2 sideways. He's into the wall again. Oh, no good for Skater, who's just having a bad race. Skater has had a lot of success in the series so far. Very, very quick driver, but it just looks like this is not going to be his race as he now gets put quite a long way behind. Speedy still trying to work his way through. He's into 9th position, so he has got in under that top 10 spot now. Willie is going to be the next person on the charge as he tucks into the slipstream. Let's see if he can shove it up the inside here, coming into the next turn. No, he's not. He's going to play it safe. Went out wide there, perhaps looking for the old over and under manoeuvre. He does keep a very, very tight line. Willie aware, gives him plenty of racing space, so good racing by both of them there, but it looks like Willie's got it. He's going to be able to hold that position down. So I am currently in 6th position, so going a little bit better than I was at this point in race 1. But you can see a gap forming now behind Jason's in 7th spot after his big incident early on. But still 3rd all the way back to 7th. There's not a lot in it. And as we ride on board with myself here, just starting to hunt down Mojo, wanting to try and squeeze past if I can. Nielsen in race 1 was very, very quick as well, so we'll see if we can get past him. Mojo just having a little look, just faked it to the inside there to see if he could upset Nielsen's run. Wasn't able to do it, so the battle will continue. In fact, it might have even affected Mojo's drive out of the corner. Beepar now well and truly up with the leader, so he has done a lot of work there. Not sure yet if he's going to be taking the 2 or 1 stop, so the whole rest of the field just about. I think there was only 3 people that tried a 2 stop. Beepar was the most successful of those, coming I think 3rd in race 1, 3rd or 4th, somewhere there, off the top of my head. But this was the lap 4. The end of lap 4 was when he pitted the first time, so we'll see if he changes it and goes back to the tactic of pretty much the rest of the field. No, he's going to dive in the pits. So despite not being able to win race 1, he's stuck with the 2-stop strategy. And look, he's in a good position. He was right up the front, so we'll see how we go. We'll follow his progress closely. It does give Kogan 2nd position. Nielsen comes across the line in 3rd. And I am still battling here with Mojo. I've got a better run side by side, but I'm not going to have... Actually am. I've just outbraked him a bit there, but I've outbraked myself a little bit too. I push out well wide, and it's a very, very long way around the outside, but I have actually managed to do it. Speedy Chicken getting very, very feisty there as well, looking for a way through on Jason's, who's back up to 6 now, so recovering fairly well. And Nielsen just punching away a little bit there, actually. I've been able to grab 4th spot now that Beepar has pitted. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Speedy Chicken pouring the pressure on Jason's to try and make him, to try and upset him. It looked like it might have actually worked there because he's cut to the inside, a bit of oversteer mid-corner, got up on the grass, and that has allowed Speedy to take 6th spot. And in fact, he's going to be under a lot of pressure now from Ring Driver and Willie, who caught right back up to the pack quick smart. Ring Driver takes to the inside to defend against Willie, and I think he's going to be able to hold it. And just we can see there at the bottom of the screen, Mojo side by side with Speedy Chicken, but he does hold the position. So this mid-pack battle still very, very tight as the leaders try and make their way forward. So we're on board with Jason's at the moment. You can see Speedy Chicken just hounding the back of Mojo. And that's the way he goes about his business there. He's got pace. Everyone knows he's got pace. So he just sits behind him, pours the pressure on. I think he manages his fuel. He manages his tyres. But it hasn't gone all his way. He was getting very, very duffed up early. And I'm tipping at lap 5 of what should be another 11-lap race, much like race 1 was. Of course, it is a 20-minute timed race. Sim now in the pits, so he's actually gone next. It's either a very early pit stop for a 1-stop strategy or a late pit stop for a 2-stopper, so we'll see how Sim goes as well. That does inherit Nielsen into 2nd position. I will take over 3rd, And the swarming pack of Mojo, Speedy, Chicken, Ring Driver continues to battle on. Now, Beepar has actually come out of the pits in 7th spot. So he's going to be pretty desperate to work his way back through to the front because, of course, being back on that 2-stop strategy, it does mean that, much like everyone else in the field, he's going to have to pit again, which means right now the position he's in is his outright position. The one thing that's going to be on his side is he's going to have much, much better tyre life. And we just see Mojo making a bit of a mistake. Ring Driver able to slip past, as was Beepar. So Beepar's going to have a lot more grip, and it actually looks like he's about to drive. Look at the extra grip he's got. The Ring Driver didn't do anything wrong there. Beepar just had the tyres to be able to punch it hard forward. So he does go through into 5th position. The next on his list will be Speedy Chicken, who, even though he's been most likely preserving fuel and tyres, he's going to have nothing on Beepar, who's going to be looking to fly. And that's the whole thing. If you go the 2-stop strategy, it means you've got much fresher tyres, you've got a lighter fuel load, but you've got to make every single lap count. If you want to try and win the race, you've got to race them all like they're qualifying laps. And actually, I've gone up the inside of Nielsen, who's made a little bit of a mistake. I've got Speedy Chicken up the inside of me, but it is going to settle itself back out again. So as we go on board with Beepar, we can see the extra grip. Speedy Chicken out well wide, got a little tap. Beepar, big mistake there, manages to recover. Did very, very well. Of course, we've got no counter steer assist on in this series. It is disabled, so he's done a very, very good job to save that, because that was out well sideways. Kogan does go in the pits, as I suspect the rest of the field will do, and we can see them all pile in. Lap 6, this is about where the one-stoppers are looking. That does give Beepar the lead, and what he's going to want to do now is just go and set a couple of the very fastest laps. This one, you'd suspect he will pit around about lap 8, that is next lap. So he needs to put in 2 blistering laps to try and get a big enough lead so that when he comes out of the pits next time around, that he is going to be able to race his way back through to the front. He's still going to be up against it. I think it's a big ask to try and do it on a 2-stop strategy. He is looking quick though, so we'll see how that goes. Sim now is in 2nd position, just trying to look at the mini-map up the top there. It's not, oh, and he's up against the wall actually. He's come out a little bit too wide there, just grinding the side of the car down. Plenty of sparks coming out. But just looking at the mini-map, he's not probably as far back as Beepar would like him to be. So Sim looking very, very good for a race win here, but Kogan in 3rd spot, flying along as well. And as we rejoin this battle, it didn't change having pitted. We've all got fresh tyres, but the positions have remained the same. Nielsen out well sideways there. And we're going to jump on board with Skater, who is just comfortably pulling off an overtake on myself. It looks like I got a lot of oversteer. Got very, very sideways out of that corner. There's not a lot I could do as Skater drives straight around the outside. Bit of a mistake under the braking markers though, and he's had to take to the inside. And I have been able to go around the outside of him, and Willie has as well, so that's going to affect his run. This is a hard maximum throttle acceleration zone up the hill, and the last thing you want to do there is really compromise your run up the hill. You just lose so much time, and you can see that with the way myself and Willie both just shot around the outside of him. So the race will continue. Nielsen proving very, very difficult to get past. I remember having a few stabs at him throughout this race, and he's not an easy man to overtake. Not doing anything wrong, of course, just defending his line, which he is fully entitled to do. So we can see that's a really good shot there actually of Kogan. He's at the start of the pit straight, and you can just see Beepar hooking into turn 1 and Sim a little bit back from him. So well spaced out at the front at the moment. But Kogan's looking very racy here, so he's going to be pushing hard to catch up to Sim. Big ask, mind you. And Sim not actually that far back from Beepar. So Beepar still to pit one more time. And he's going to put him on fresh tyres. Not that anyone else's is too bad. We're only really 2 laps into this stint. So tyre wear's not a major factor yet, but it's going to be lap 10 and 11 where Beepar is really going to take advantage of having the second pit stop. The other thing is he can take on a lot less fuel, so his pit stops themselves should be faster than ours, because we have to pretty much top the tanks in the one and only pit stop we do, whereas Beepar only has to take on a much smaller amount. He's only really doing about 4 laps on the stint, so we'll keep an eye on that. But you can see Nielsen out sideways again, and I'm just having a bit of a look there up the inside. Not a lot I can do as I tuck back in behind him. Willie now starting to lurk around in the background. He's getting racy. And in fact, he might be going for a bit of an overtake there. Is he going to do it? He's thinking about it. No, he tucks back in behind me. But I tell you what, he is all over the back of my car. We'll jump on board with him there. See if he can get a good run up the hill. It actually looks like he has. I might have just struggled a bit with a bit of oversteer. Still trying to think about my way around Nielsen as I take to the inside. A bit of a defensive line. A swing back out to take the corner there. Surprise Willie a bit. And a little bit of contact there. I don't think it affected either of us too much, but it has given up that 9th spot to Skater. As we see Beepar take his second pit stop now. So all eyes are going to be on Beepar, not just where he rejoins the track, but actually how fast he's going to be to the end, because it's around about, it's probably the next lap or two that his tyres are really going to take advantage. So he's back to 4th already. You can see 1st, 2nd has gone by. Speedy Chicken was 3rd, and there he flashes by him. So a little bit of a gap to Beepar. We'll keep an eye on this. It is quite spaced out at the front though. Sim with a very substantial lead at the moment over Kogan, who's got an equally large lead over Speedy Chicken. So Speedy obviously is going to be up against it. He had a tough start to the race, and for once we might have actually asked a little bit too much of him to be able to go through and take the win here. So that's nice though. You don't always want to see the same person at the front. So I won't pretend to be totally disappointed if Speedy can't quite win this one and give someone else a bit of a chance. Beepar is going to be looking racy. You better believe he's going to be pushing hard at this point. And what we've missed there is Willie's actually managed to get up the inside of myself. So it is going to be his turn to see if he can get past Nielsen, who's proven very, very difficult to overtake. And as we crest over the hill and start the downhill section there, it's all spaced out. In fact, Skater, I've got back past Skater, so I have managed to regain one of those positions. See if I can hold him out. But still a good little pack here in the middle, as it has spaced out in the front as we discussed. Starting to tighten up a little bit, as you can see on the mini-map. But this battle here, really trying to find a way around the most difficult, widest RX-7 on the track. But he's got a good run there. Nielsen out sideways, side by side. Let's see if he can actually make this one stick and do what I couldn't. Nielsen's going to have the inside line around the right-hander, but the left-hand comes, and Willie just gives him the don't argue, leaves the brakes a little bit later. It's actually upset Nielsen's rhythm. And I've managed to go around the outside as we jump on board Sim, see if he can follow suit. But he cannot. Once you get out wide there, you can't get on the throttle too early, and Nielsen able to defend that. So finally, two of us have managed to make it around the outside of a very, very wide blue and yellow RX-7, and that does elevate Willie up into 6th position, which is a much better spot for him. And given that he did that 360 on lap 1, fantastic little spin and recovery from him. He's doing very well to be 6th, to be honest. Beepar has now caught right up to the back of Speedy Chicken. So this is the lap 10, where I was saying before that the people on the one-stop strategy, this is where the tyres are starting to wear. You know, you could reasonably expect over half wear, and Beepar just with pure tyre grip can get on the power early. He's 3/10 up. He's on purple sector, so he is absolutely flying as he speeds past Speedy Chicken, if you will. Makes it look rather easy, actually. He's already put a couple of car length gaps in between the two of them, so he's going to push on hard towards Kogan, but still a very, very big ask. Kogan's quite a long way up the road. We'll see as we go around the corner there, you can see how far ahead Kogan actually is. And we'll jump on and see how he is going. He's caught right up to Sim, so not sure if Sim's made a mistake there or not, but Sim had a pretty big lead over Kogan. Look, Kogan is flying at the moment, but Sim perhaps just struggling a bit with tyre wear, as you see Kogan close right up on the back of him now. So I'd suggest Sim perhaps is really, really struggling. This, of course, is the penultimate lap as he moves out sideways, but he's going to have to tuck back in behind him. He's got a very good run here. Oh, a little bit of movement from Sim as he looked to defend, but he couldn't do anything about it. Kogan is going to have the inside line there, squeezed up against the fence, but good racing again from both of them. And actually Sim out well wide there. That's going to hurt him. That's going to affect his run out of the turn, but he's done very well to recover, actually, and not run wide off that. It's very easy if you get in there too wide to actually find yourself out on the grass. So we'll jump on board Beepar. That gives you an idea of the gap. We don't see an actual gap between the cars, but he's getting very, very close. He's pulled away a bit from Speedy Chicken, who looks perhaps to have to have settled for his 4th position. But what BPAR will be hoping is that these two continue to scrap it out. And Sims actually recovered a bit of pace there, caught right back up. So as BPAR closes in, these two are engaged in their own battle. Kogan up the inside. Very good run from Sim there. So I don't know if he just sort of had a bad lap, which can sometimes happen as you get used to the tyre wear. But BPAR right up on the outside now. Swings out wide as these two continue to battle. And we are 3 wide coming over the hill. And in fact, BPAR's found himself on the inside. This is too good to watch. Sim on the inside of Kogan again, so he's going to take 2nd position back. BPAR, it is the final lap, of course. BPAR has managed to come all the way through, overtaken both of them. He's got a lot more grip, but as Sim and Kogan battled it out for the win, they didn't even notice BPAR come up and just sneak on by. And it looks like he's already pulled 2 or 3 car lengths over them, so perhaps BPAR has already wrapped this one up. It's going to be down to whether Sim or Kogan can get it done. Sim's taking a very defensive line on the inside. That will hurt his run a bit on the outside. Kogan sideways. He's squeezing that throttle on as hard as he can. BPAR, congratulations to him. He's going to get it done. Off a 2-stop strategy, but here across the line, and Kogan is going to get it done. So a much better exit out of the final turn. Speedy Chicken, 4th position, was as good as he could do today. Ring Driver, 5th spot. Bit of a lonely drive, but he did very, very well there. And it looks like the battle is still on between myself and Willie, but Willie does have that one locked down. He had the drive. And Nilsson coming through in 8th spot, the hardest man on the grid to overtake without a shadow of a doubt. Skater just dropped off the back there, so perhaps had a couple of little moments we didn't see. But he is going to come through and pick up 9th spot in front of Mojo. Throws the handbrake on, does some mad skids for the boys. Mojo comes through in 10th spot. And in 11th we go back to Revolver now. Probably another lonely race for Revolver again. The race was tight as he also chucks a mad skid across the line. Staniel back in 12th. We saw him struggling early on. He found himself nose first into the wall, so not the day he would have wanted, but as close as this race was in the mid-pack and at the very front, it looks like a few of the guys towards the back had a little bit more of a quiet race, just sort of out on their own, but it's good that they can just get out there, not have to worry about scrapping with other people, focus on the lap times and just get the job done, which he has done. In fact, it looks like Staniel may have pitted there on the 2nd last lap as well, which would have affected him quite a lot. Nick Magic coming through in 13th position, and Crenshaw. We did lose Hippie Head in this race, so he did start the race but was unable to finish, unfortunately. And Crenshaw coming through. It looks like he's got his fuel strategy a bit better this time. No extra stop for him, and he's just gone about his business, and that's good. I respect what he's doing. He's just getting it done, accumulating points. Every points pays. Every position, should I say, does pay points in this racing league. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't seen any of the previous rounds or races, then probably the easiest way to do it is to jump over onto my website, www.charlieroscoe.com. Go to the racing series link. There is all the racing highlights as well as some nice gallery pictures up there. So jump over. You can also check out the leaderboard standings, championship standings and all the rest. But thank you very much for joining me for this race. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Remember to leave a like if you have, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.